welcome back to the Texas Hill Country Insider. I'm Ryan Rendon Realty Group.
And I'm Stephen Butcher with Butcher Baron Signature Homes.
Okay, so this is episode number 4. We have a special guest on today, someone I personally know from the gym, CrossFit gym here in Fredericksburg, CrossFit Hugelon, and but there's so much more to her than just that. So before we get every episode started, we like to start it off with a quick prayer. So I think I did the last one. You want to start this one off?
Well, sure.
All right.
Lord, thank you for this day, and thank you for all the many blessings that you give us, Lord. Lord, thank you for the opportunity to help people and to start this podcast and get other people's name out as well as ours, Lord. And Lord, we just thank you for all the opportunities that you give us, all the work that you provide. Lord, I just pray that you put a shield over our friends and family, Lord, and all the guests listening, God. Lord, we just thank you for everything. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Amen. Okay, so before she gets into her story, I just want to do a quick introduction. Okay, so Leann Rominger Scott is the owner of Staycation Pools and Outdoors in Fredericksburg, Texas, where she builds custom swimming pools. Originally from Waco, a UT Austin grad, she spent years in Austin constructing custom homes before launching her own pool company after repeatedly struggling to find reliable pool builders. 6 years ago, she and her family relocated to Fredericksburg, and she hasn't looked back. Beyond the business, Leann is a fitness coach heading to Montana and Malibu this year to lead a wellness retreats, an avid trail runner, and an up and coming tactical games competitor.
Well, Leann, welcome to Texas Hill Country Insider. Give us the quick origin story. Waco kid, UT Longhorn, ends up building pools in Fredericksburg. Can you walk us through that journey?
Sure. So born and raised in Waco, and I played sports my whole life. So as a young kid, it was soccer. I think at age 8, we started to travel to Dallas every single weekend because we grew out of our league. The cool thing about that is we all started on the same team when we were 5, and we graduated as the same team when we were 18, and we had Mark Wellstead was our coach the whole time. So it was sweet. We were in the state championship every year, and it's super cool. Soccer, I love soccer. But anyway, my dad and family are huge golfers, so every Sunday at 3 o'clock we had a standing tee time. Played a lot of golf, softball. Started from t-ball. Mm-hmm. So got into select softball, when probably middle school. And then I went to a small school, Vanguard College Prep, so I played every sport. So I did play basketball also and was forced to run track. So
you did it all.
As much of a runner I am now, I was not a runner. Yeah. I kind of adopted running after I stopped playing, competitive sports. So I actually went to Baylor my freshman year because I was playing softball, but then I didn't really care for that and decided I just wanted to move on. And so I went to UT because born and raised in Waco and then going to Baylor was just like glorified high school. And, I was ready to move on. I did have to write my dad a 3-page letter and then had to call his business partner who was on the board of the business school at UT and a huge Longhorn to try to convince my dad to let me go to Austin.
Yeah.
He had an Aggie father and he is a Horned Frog, TCU Horned Frog. So he thinks Austin is where all the weirdos are. So
gotcha.
Yeah, that took some convincing, but I did it. And I graduated from UT, stayed there. I was the indoor and program director at West Austin Youth Association, which was amazing. But it was nonprofit. So after a couple of years, my dad was like, okay, cool. You're going to need to get a job that I don't have to supplement your income. And so I went back and got a teaching degree, and I taught for 8 years. And then when I got back, when I was coaching, on the side in Austin, I was running a gym and coaching. One of the members was like, I don't know, what you're going to do for me, but, I would love for you to come work for me. I was like, okay. He was a custom home builder. So basically for a year, I was just shadowing him, but then he gave me this duplex right off of campus. And so I was the project manager. Ended up working for him for 10 years. And so we were building custom homes and mainly Terrytown, Old Enfield, Spanish Oak, Spartan Creek. And obviously every one of those houses had a pool. And it was a nightmare to deal with a pool builder. Actually, it was kind of a sad story. The one we were using died of alcoholism, but he was actually like a really great guy. It was sad.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I kept asking like my husband, like, do you know anybody that builds pools? And finally he was like, you just need to start your own company. I'm like, what? And he's like, you're already doing it. And I was like, oh, okay. So anyway, that's how Staycation Pools came to be, and built tons of pools in Austin. When we decided to move here, I had to wrap up about 13 of them. So I was commuting for about a year and a half.
Wow.
Because in the pools that I'm building, usually I come in and we get to gunite, and then I won't come back sometimes for 8 months because I'm coming in at the end, tile and coping plaster, fill the pool with water. So yeah, it's kind of spread out. Unless it's you're building for somebody who already lives in their house, then boom, it goes fast. But custom homes, it's kind of a chunky process. But so I started building pools here, and then I was wrapping up pools in Austin. Got those wrapped up. I actually just finished a pool in Austin because I said I wouldn't ever, but the builder that I worked for just built a new house for himself, and he wanted me to build that pool. So I was like, okay. But anyway, so yeah, so was already kind of doing pools here as we were building our home, and got plugged in with some great people like Ben Fuller at Lindbergh House, Aaron Hominick. I've built both their personal pools, but then their clients' pools. And so I got really lucky to meet them and have some word of mouth. I've always only been word of mouth. So, and then found the gym. For like over a year, I was just working out at home by myself, and it was like sad and lonely.
Yeah, it is.
And then luckily Chelsea opened Hugalon, and that's been amazing.
Yeah.
So, and then I met Julie Alvarez, who's a great friend of mine here, and she's the one that's like heading up the new Racquet Center here. And so I'm on the board for that, which is super exciting. We're really excited to bring another outlet for families and kids to Fredericksburg locals, because there's not a ton to do here outside of the tourism and the wineries, which are great. But just giving them that ability to use this facility for a sport that's a lifelong sport that, you can go play with your grandmother, even if you're 12, or, everybody can play and learn and have fun. And we're really excited about that project. So
yeah, it's definitely much needed. We've talked about that a lot, and I've talked about it, and I have another YouTube channel. Y'all want to go look it up? That'd be great. But,
Little plug there.
Yeah, I've talked about that a lot here in Fredericksburg, even Kerrville, that there's just not a whole lot of family type of things to do. So I am so happy for this. And he's a big pickleball guy. I know it's going to be pickleball and tennis and all of that. But you're right. We definitely need more of that in Fredericksburg. And it's coming. This is a great start, and I'm sure other things will come along with it. But we're really excited about that.
Yeah, and it's cool because the city has been amazing.
Yeah.
And so one of the deals was like, we have to have a park with it. And so it has a playground with its own dedicated bathrooms. It has a 1/2-mile walking trail. So it's going to be beyond just, and we're hoping to have, we've already had people approach us, but we don't have anything like finalized, but we're going to have like a food truck there. So this will be somewhere you can go eat, sit at the park, watch your kids play, walk the trail. You can have your kids playing while other kids are having lessons. We hope it will be a place where people like are just going to go and gather. We want to have like all different kinds of events there, mahjong in the clubhouse, like, whatever the community wants. And phase 1, which we have the money raised for right now, and we're going to be breaking ground soon, and hopefully March of 2027 be able to actually be playing on the courts.
Awesome.
That's 8 pickle, 8 tennis.
Oh, cool.
And we'll be the only public pickleball, like that's not like lines on the court. Like these are dedicated pickleball courts.
Oh, cool.
You're not having lines on a tennis court to make them. These are 8 outdoor pickleball, their own, and then 8 tennis. And then phase 2, we for sure will have 4 pickleball and 4 tennis indoor courts
Oh, nice.
in the clubhouse. And then we have slotted for several more, but we're kind of leaving that open because there's lots of requests for a pool. And then we also, like with padel and racquetball and other things, like that land is there and it already has like courts on it, but that doesn't necessarily mean in phase 2 that's what we're going to do, because we want to see how phase 1 goes and what the requests are and the needs and all that kind of stuff, and then be able to meet those needs later down the road. And so I think that's really cool that we're able to phase it out. I mean, technically we're phasing it out because of money, but it's a smart way to do it also. So yeah, that's going to be, it's going to not just be like, oh, well, we don't play tennis or pickleball. This is going to be a place where people are going to want to go. You're going to see your friends there. Like we're going to hold other events. I'm excited for phase 2 indoor stuff because, you know, I know from talking to my friends that their kids don't have places to go when it's 105. And I was telling, you know, our board, like and they're open to this, but like, you know, you have a soccer team or a baseball team or somebody like that wants to come and just do agility drills on the courts. You know, I mean, you can use those courts for a million things, and all that agility work translates in any sport you play.
Yeah.
So really wanting to make it valuable and open, and it's going to be a community project. So we've already run numbers, and I'm not going to say like exact because I don't want to, you know, say something that's not accurate, but I do know for a fact that these are going to be like community member pricing, like is going to be similar to the wellness center, you know, and even less obviously because we don't offer everything that the wellness center.
Right.
But like I think that, you know, as with everything, when things start, rumors spread. And so this is not some sort of elite private racket club. This is quite the opposite. This is like a community racket center that we want to make available.
Yeah.
So you're going to have family memberships, individual. You can have drop-in prices. You'll have a local price versus, you know, somebody from out of town that just came for the weekend and wants to use the courts and stuff like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, it's grown the sport of racquetball and tennis, obviously still going well, you know, strong. But I think this is a great thing again for us to have. You said it's a lifelong sport. Family members can get into it. You know, and I don't know. I mean, I know there's some discussion of it being in Olympics and things like that. So there's just a lot of buzz around it. So I think this is going to be something special. And I just love the fact that it is so community driven, and you're going to have the walking trails and all that stuff, and then the potential other things for the kids. Man, it's exciting for sure because, you know, I have a 4-year-old, 2-year-old, and a 3-month-old, and we don't have a whole lot to go to right now. So, anyways,
the pickleball courts are going to be sweet. I mean, like y'all said, I mean, pickleball's blowing up, and to really go anywhere and compete, you have to go all the way into San Antonio.
Right.
Yeah. And so like hosting tournaments there and like that's going to be really legit.
Cool.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool.
Yeah, and I mean, this is a place obviously that people come to, and so I mean, to have like these courts in this facility to host tournaments to bring more business to the town.
Right.
You know, and we even talked about like hosting tournaments, like majority will be there, but we'll probably have to use the high school and Lady Bird, and then that way we will have like reason for our 501(c) to also raise money for improvements at Lady Bird. You know, and so like we're not going to be closed-minded to only our facility. Like we want this for the whole community. So any way that we can support other courts in our town to keep everybody able to go and play, we want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's awesome.
So obviously you're heavily invested in Fredericksburg. What actually was it about Fredericksburg that made y'all decide this is where we want to plant our flag, you know, to live?
Well, that's kind of funny because so we lived on 10 acres outside of Austin, and the person who owned it passed away, and her kids didn't live in the state. And it was a heavily wooded 60 acres, and a developer came in and bought it and put 240 homes on it. So as soon as they started no, they were on 60. We're on 10.
Okay.
But on 60 acres,
Yeah,
like still,
that's
they were
a
like,
lot of houses. Yeah.
So as soon as they started clearing, you know, we were like, we need to get out of here. We don't want to live like next to. So anyway, Fredericksburg, I'd never been, wasn't on my radar, knew nothing about it. My husband went to Tarleton, and in college, they would go to Llano and Fredericksburg to all the county fairs and he worked at sale barns and all that kind of stuff. So this was like always on his radar. He never like told me that, but like I think he always in his mind wanted to end up out here.
Yeah.
So one weekend, it might have even been the 4th of July and we had nothing to do. I don't remember, but we came and this was after we realized we needed to like have a plan to move.
Right.
And so he's like, well, I want to take you to Fredericksburg and we'll just see what you think. And so we came, and then he's like, well, what do you think? And I'm like, oh no, okay. I mean, it sounds like we're moving. I mean, and he was so worried about the funniest things. Like that was when Peach Basket was still here. And so he was like, well, they have a grocery store for you. And I'm like, God, okay, I think I can also survive at HEB and use Thrive Market and go to Austin to Whole Foods or whatever. But at that point, he was just worried about the things that I was going to like miss that I used every day. And I did like that day run. It was funny. We were staying like wherever, Whataburger, and then you take a right down that road and there's like, I don't know, some little Airbnb place. Mm-hmm. Well, I ran from there to CrossFit, which is where Hugoland is now. Mm-hmm. And I didn't realize how far it was. And then I did the CrossFit class. And then I was like, oh gosh, I have to run back. So they were like talking about how they were like about to jump on their float to go to town to start for the parade. So I just was like, could I get a ride? So like I didn't know these people. I've never been here before. And I like rode on the float to town to the parade. And then I called Jake. I'm like, so I'm on this float, but I'll get off and you can come get me. So anyway, but yeah, I was just like indifferent because I was like, I mean, we're moving. So sure, this sounds great.
Yeah.
And then he was so nervous about like, if I was going to be okay in a small town and like not having all the things that we had in Austin or whatever. And I've never looked back. Like, I love it. Like I was meant to be in a small town, and, we even live like out. We live off of Yansky Lane near Stonewall. I'm on the Stonewall Volunteer Fire Department. Like, so it's funny because people will say that they're like coming out to see me, and it's like, I feel like they have to pack a bag. And I'm like, I do this like 4 times a day, but I mean, if we lived in Austin, it takes you 20 minutes to get 2 miles, get anywhere anyway. So it's like nothing, but I just feel like Fredericksburg is so special that I didn't know about. And, until living here is just, it's such a supportive community. Mm-hmm. It's such a Christian-based community, which is just so special. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, I just think about all the time how lucky we are that we have such a faith-based community. And that is like, my friends at St. Mary's, to my friends that go to Hill Country, to ones that are at, it doesn't matter where you go, what denomination, what it is. It's just everybody. Not everybody, but the majority of this town is very faith-based, and to walk up to somebody and say, how can I pray for you? Or this is what's going on. Yeah. Will you be praying for me? You don't have to say it timidly or like worry if you're going to step on anybody's toes or whatever. And it's so special in that way. And I think you can feel it by the way everybody treats each other.
Yeah, 100%. I grew up in the Hill Country, graduated high school here in Fredericksburg, and I talked about this during my episode, but also we had his pastor on last week, Josh, and he just set up shop here in Fredericksburg, moved from Kerrville over here, and they're going to be setting up a church here pretty soon too. Cool. But we talked about that a little bit. But growing up here, there's some tragic things that have happened over the years. I don't want to get too much into that, but there's some pretty significant things that have happened in our community, and the way we've come together to support each other is just absolutely incredible. You don't find that in too many places, because I lived in Kerrville too. He's in Kerrville. Kerrville's a great community as well, but I don't know. You get that sense that it's not really the same as what you feel here.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm a Waco kid too. I grew up outside of Waco in Riesel, Texas.
Okay, cool. We had a duck lease in Riesel.
Oh, did y'all?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I came from Riesel. We were all Baylor fans too, and then I moved from Bernie to Kerrville, and yeah, my wife and I are trying to get to Fredericksburg. also. And the reason is we love Kerrville, absolutely love Kerrville, but there's a lot of more activity here that we can kind of get behind, if you know what I mean. And and Fredericksburg has taken us into, especially with our companies and what we do, and majority of our work is in Fredericksburg now. And so we're definitely trying to get out here also. It just kind of feels like that's where the Lord is leading us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely get that sense of, the community being a faith-based community for sure. I mean, everywhere you look, there's supportive Christ-like people walking around, and and I think that's why you do get that sense of that community, such a deep community here in Fredericksburg, is because there are so many Christ-like people and people, Christ followers. So I think without that, you don't have that family aspect of it, small town. So. But so going back to your upbringing a little bit. So sports obviously were a big part of your life.
I would say sports saved me
Okay.
because I have had whatever ADD. I don't really know that it's ADHD. I don't know, haven't ever, because my parents weren't going to buy into all that. My mom said my first grade, third grade, maybe second grade teachers all called her in to put me on medication. And she would just ask them what is she doing? And it was I wasn't a bad kid. I wasn't doing anything, but they didn't know how to handle me because I was different and I moved a lot. I wasn't disruptive. I wasn't hurting others. I wasn't not doing my work, but I also went to a Catholic school. So you were supposed to sit in your desk and not move. So they didn't know how to handle me. But my parents never put me on any kind of medication. We never got any kind of official diagnosis, but you can feel it. I actually got the award for President's Award for Academic Improvement. So there's an award that a lot of kids get for President's Award for Academic Achievement. Mm-hmm. And so I didn't know until I got it my senior year that there's one for academic improvement. So basically from my freshman year to senior year at a college prep, which was rigorous and hard, I learned how to make my grades myself by figuring out how to work with what I was dealing with, and sports are the reason. If I didn't make my grades, I wasn't going to play sports.
Right.
And luckily I was in a school where the teachers were behind me to support me and know this is what this child needs to be able to feel good about herself and, motivated and whatever. And so, I really feel the discipline in sports helped me have discipline in my education, and then obviously rolled over to life and truly even to this day, I always have something that I'm training for, something to look forward to. And I don't know what I would have done or how it would have been if I hadn't had sports.
Yeah.
And none of it was forced upon me. I mean, honestly, my parents kind of had to sit me down and tell me. It's funny. It sounds harsh, but we were playing so much soccer, and then I was competitive in gymnastics, surprisingly. And so those were 5 days a week, weekends, and something had to give because I was also playing softball, whatever. Mm-hmm. And so they sat me down. They were like, okay, you're going to need to choose between gymnastics and soccer, and it's your choice. But, you can do all the moves in gymnastics, but there's this little thing called grace, and, you don't really have it. So I could, give me a movement. I'll learn it and do it, but I might not look pretty doing it,
Right.
Right. And I'm like, okay, I'll choose soccer, so.
Well, I think that's a great topic. I have the same issue with ADHD, ADD. I don't know either. I was never actually diagnosed either, but school was very, very hard for me. Sports are what kept me grounded in, they end up putting me in remedial classes to try to help me learn. I'm more of a visual guy. I don't do well by people telling me how to do things. I have to actually like learn how to do it physically. And so I struggled with that too. And for the longest time, it was sports. Sports is what kept me grounded, you know. And then after school, I didn't know how to really deal with myself. So like alcoholism was the way to kind of cope with it, you know. And then I got sober and was able to like, it's actually a gift. Like the stuff that we deal with and how our brain works is really a gift. And I thank God that my parents didn't medicate me either, because once you learn that it's a gift, I mean, the world's yours. I mean, and now I'm like you, I have to keep things going, like high rocks or pickleball or whatever, marathons or whatever the case may be. And that's what keeps me grounded. So I just think that's an awesome topic to bring up for anybody else that's dealing with that, is like, that's okay.
Yeah, and I mean, I truly did believe that I wasn't smart because it was so hard for me. And so, I mean, I think creative writing was somewhere and that I excelled at UIL, or memorizing Bible verses. I don't remember when that was something we did through school, but that would be, I don't know. Anyway, but like I did believe that I was not smart because it was so hard for me, and I was around kids that it wasn't. So having the sports helped me not just feel so bad about myself. And then it wasn't until so much later in life when I looked back and looked at everybody's own individual talents. It's like, okay, it's not that I'm not or wasn't smart. Like, I want to say, like, I almost have street smarts, you know, like things that are like common sense or problem solving or thinking outside the box, or, you know, I mean, I feel like I'm a connector. So like I can like take you, hear that about you, and then put you with somebody. You know, these are like skills that I have that like then other people that could nail their biology test like would be like deer in the headlights when this other problem came their way. So like it wasn't until so much later in life that you realize everybody has their own special skills and talents. And like you said, like that wasn't the way that my brain works, or the way I function isn't necessarily like a hindrance. Right. Yeah. But it's just different.
Yeah, I think it's a blessing. I mean, because I think we all realize the older we get that common sense isn't that common.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so like I thank God that I was given the ability to have common sense.
Right.
You know?
Or problem solving. I mean, just like something simple like, you know, oh, I can't do that because of this. And I'm like, well, but actually, but you could do this, this, and this, and then that way you could do that. And then, I mean, there's just so many people that are just so black and white, you know, they don't think around problems and.
Yeah, our world, like that's what we do is like
exactly.
Pool building, custom home building. Like we are glorified problem solvers. That's our job. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like there's always a problem. Yep. But we always have to find the solution to it. Absolutely. Yeah. And there always is one.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
You know, even if it's rip it out and do it over.
Exactly.
You know?
Every day.
So.
Well, it's crazy. I think a lot of that is tied into how you're raised. So going back to the sports, I think you learn so much in sports, how to be a good follower, a good leader, team, you know, being a part of a team, but the discipline aspect and all that, how not to quit and all that good stuff is so important. Do you think, so you played a lot of different sports, you know, for me, it was baseball, football, and that was really it. And my dad really, you know, it was all about football and baseball. And I didn't really have the opportunity to try too many other things. How important do you think it is for young kids today to experience, you know, all different types of sports, gymnastics, baseball, football, softball, racket, you know, pickleball, whatever. You know, there's so many different types of options out there. Do you think it's pretty important at a young age that they kind of try it all out and then, you know, whatever they may excel at or really kind of be leaning towards, kind of go with it?
Definitely. I think up until middle school, that they should be, I mean, obviously you're not going to force your child, but I will say my godson, we pretty much forced him to do swim team. And we were like, you're going to do it and you're going to stick it out the whole season. And if you don't ever want to do it again, you don't have to. Right. And he was great and he had fun. But then when it was over, he was done because it ended in a cold season where you're having to wear those like long jackets and like it was cold and not fun. But I mean, he did great. He got so much praise. He got that skill that he'll have for the rest of his life from what he learned. He did stick it out, and then I feel like we did have an incentive for him at the end. I can't remember what we told him, if at the end, when you finish this, we'll do this or whatever. But yeah, I mean, he would have never done swim team. So not that you should force your child kicking and screaming to go do something, but I think gross motor skills, teams, different coaches, different environments, like all of that is so important. And my niece right now is just about to graduate from 8th grade, and she has tried almost every sport in her middle school in Austin. She didn't make the soccer team, but she went and tried out for it, and she tried track. And after about 4 weeks of it, she was like, this isn't for me. She was actually having some like pains because, just using different body parts and, but she went and tried. And then she has played volleyball. She tried out for cheerleader, made that, never had cheered before. So like, I mean, I think up until middle school, getting to try all of that out. And then in high school, if you really found like volleyball or baseball, and then you can supplement with track or cross country or, like having your main sport, but then maybe another one. But like football and baseball are great because they're 2 different seasons and you can do both. And so I've always thought like, I mean, I would have rather played soccer in college than softball. My family was counting on me because I kind of got recruited young for golf, but then it just dwindled because I just wasn't like in it. Like I was more of a team person, and then golf was so individual. Right. But they are like, we're so sad because they're like, you are our ticket to these amazing vacations. Right. Like we're gonna go watch you play these tournaments and all these amazing places. And sorry, guys, a little selfish. But they were joking, but half serious also. Yeah. But no, I mean, like for sure, like exposing those kids. I mean, just going back to tennis, not to like harp on that for any reason, but like tennis, pickleball, like that hand-eye coordination. It's going to translate over to baseball. There's just the running and soccer. If later they are into track or cross country, I mean, just it all is so great. And I mean, I remember with my godson, we don't have kids, so I've been very involved in like my godchildren's lives and friends' kids and nieces and nephews. But I remember like you had to go through seasons where you're on like a really bad team or you have a really bad coach or, and you make it through all of that, and then you have great teams and coaches and seasons that you remember also. So, I mean, that's just perseverance, and then having those conversations at home about like, hey, this is what happened out there today. Like, this is not how we behave or think, but like, this is what happened and we'll move on from it. Or, just like so many life lessons that you can teach in all of it. So yeah,
failure is one too.
Yeah, exactly.
You learn how to
which
fail.
Is something that we need to feel and not give ribbons to everybody. Yeah, it's okay. Like we do need, because then they're just sheltered, and then when they do, they're gonna like crumble.
Right. Because life is hard.
Life is hard.
Sure.
Yep. And honestly, for me, growing up in a small town and going to a small school and being athletic and successful in that, like, it was funny when I got into like the real world, and then, was it going against Dallas, Houston, all these San Antonio people, and then I was like, oh, yeah, I'm not anybody. Okay. There's like bigger, better people out there. But yeah, so it's good to be able to feel that.
Well, you made a good point. Learning to lose too is okay, because at some point in life you're definitely going to lose if it's in business or whatever it is. Being a contractor, you're going to have employees and all that. At some point, you may get to a point where it's like, man, we are losing on this situation. And so if you are in a sport, and we went 1-9 my senior year, so we learned to lose a lot. But it's important. You just learn. It's funny how much you can learn in sports as a young kid. So, I hope our boys get into sports. I know some kids may be more artistic and stuff, and I guess if that is the case, maybe they get into something but really focus on it and just teach them not to quit. I think that's the biggest thing, like you're saying with your godson. Get through the whole season. If you don't like it at the end, that's okay. Yeah. But I don't know. It's just sports are great, but you definitely want to force it on your kids. But
right.
I don't know. So many lessons you can learn with it.
For sure.
So you were building custom homes in Austin, and when you couldn't find that decent pool contractor. You obviously started that. What was that leap like? Being, in the custom home side of things and then leaping over to the pool side. How did that look? Was it a crazy jump for you, or was it seamless? How did that go?
I mean, I feel like I got really lucky because I obviously had immediate clients because I was building all the pools for the homes that we were building. So that was super lucky. So that was seamless, but I didn't sleep for 2 years. I mean, it is so stressful too.
Yeah.
I mean, there are so many things that can go wrong. You can hit a gas line. You can hit a water line. People could fall in the hole. Their kids could go play in the backyard. I mean, I remember, so in Austin, they're on Del Rio clay. So mostly all my pools in Terrytown, which I probably did 50, are on 28-foot bell piers with rebar cages and void boxes before I ever start building the pool.
Wow.
And so I just I remember I built this pool for this family of 5, and they were those kids were living their best life. They were just feral, so awesome. Loved it. Parents were great. I loved them. But I had 15, 28-foot holes in their backyard, because you got to dig the holes, and then you got to put the rebar cages in.
Right.
And then you got to fill it with concrete. So it's not like this all just happens in a day.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I had plywood and cones and taped off and all the things, but you just stress about everything.
Yeah.
I mean, everything. So yeah, I didn't sleep for 2 years because it's just so stressful. And then, I got super lucky. So Adon Garcia is my head guy, and he does my excavations, form, steel, plumbing, tile, coping, equipment set. And then I brought on my electrician from the home building. So I'd already been working with Kelly, taught him how to do pools. And then other than that, it's just gunite and plaster. So no pool builder owns maybe somewhere in the world, but you contract out your concrete and your plaster.
Right.
So basically I'm working with 2 subs outside of gunite and plaster. And
That's
so
awesome.
That's not normal. Most pool builders are having to I'm going to get bids from these 3 excavation guys for this pool. And then I'm going to have these 3 tile and coping guys. I don't know who's available, and, mixing around with pricing and all that. And so, I mean, we're like family now. He's worked for me for 10 years. Truly, we're like family. And so I got super lucky in that regard. I didn't have any issues during COVID or all of that with subs. And so that was huge for me. That made things nice. And, if you're building a house, you have everybody blaming everybody. You go in to do trim, he's going to blame the sheetrocker. The sheetrocker is going to blame the framer. The framer is going to blame the foundation guy of why everything's not square and plumb, and their work doesn't look right. So it's really nice to have one guy doing everything, because there's no pointing fingers.
Right.
You did it all.
Exactly.
So and he's really good. He's been doing it for 30 years. Basically all of his family members are working. I have 4 Luises in my phone. I've got Luis dad, Luis brother, Luis cousin.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I mean, it's so it's great. Which is funny because we're finishing my pool right now, and Jake doesn't have anything to do with the pool business. He's got his own company, commercial construction, but Luis Sr. and Luis Jr. were working yesterday on it, and he's like, okay, so Luis said, and then the other one that was here yesterday, he looks like them. I was like, yeah, that's Tolly. That's Luis's brother. That Luis's son. He's like, what? I can't keep up.
I can't keep it up.
I'm like, well, just say Luis and you're probably good,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's really fun. They're great. So, besides just being a nervous wreck and stressing, and I'm sure you understand what I'm talking about, it's a lot of supervising. I was telling my cousin owns a photography company, and something happened to her last week that she could not have ever predicted. You would never come up with this thing that would happen, and it happened. And then I'm like, this is what I tell you about, in my business. I set them up for success, and the most bizarre thing can happen. I mean, I'll give you a kind of embarrassing, like crazy story. So, you set them up for success. You like all the things you could possibly do. And a few months ago, I was plastering a pool, and one of the plaster guys decided to pee in the corner of the yard. And I'm like, what? I mean, I couldn't even come up with that. And next door, a house was under construction with a porta potty.
No. Oh, goodness.
And so I had to confront him, and I'm like, did you use the restroom in the corner of the yard?
Was it the customer that saw it or something?
Yeah, of course it was.
Of course.
Oh, God. Of course. And I'm like, it's probably the smallest backyard I've ever built a pool in, too. Like, this isn't like we were on a ranch and he decided to go behind the tree.
Right.
And I would never in a million years go up to the plaster crew when they start and be like, and by the way, guys, we're not going to TT in the yard, okay?
Tell them that, yeah.
I mean, just like the things that you cannot ever imagine. And that's what keeps you up because you're just like, I can't even predict what might happen, you know? And he was mortified and had no good reason. And I mean, just there's not much you can do about it at that point. I apologized profusely to her, made him. He'll obviously never do it. I mean, just like, lapse in judgment because he's human.
Right.
Yes.
And it's just like, I was just like, I don't even know. I can't. I don't know what to say. Like, but it's just, yeah. So you got to roll with the punches. You've got to do everything you can. And I used to get so anxious and worked up. And like now I'm just like, I just have to take deep breaths, and like, okay, what we're going to solve the problem.
Right.
It's going to all be fine.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't do any good to get emotional about it.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Right.
Well, the biggest thing is like, what's out of your control is out of your control. Like there's things in our business that we, like you said, we cannot predict the guy going and peeing in the corner.
I mean, just never in a million years.
Yeah, you can't predict the guy walking around the building smoking weed, and you're like, dude, like,
right.
what are you thinking?
Right.
And then have to fire him and kick him off and not let him back on my job site. And that looks bad on us, just like peeing in the corner looks bad. And
yeah, because they're thinking like, these are your guys. Like, how do you hire that human that would think that? And you're like, well, the plaster company's great.
Yeah.
And they have a crew of 10 people in your backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know specifically that guy, but
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so hard. And like people really don't understand the stress of what we go through with the people that we hire in. And because like you said, everybody's human. I make mistakes too.
Yeah.
I mean, they make mistakes. And it's easy for our clients to sometimes see like, well, you probably should have done it that way. And like, yeah, you might be right.
Yeah.
But it didn't. So here we are.
And we used to, so we have a client expectations meeting before we start a job, not necessarily on my pools, but when I was building homes. And in that meeting, we would tell them things like, it's going to be a sunny day and there's not going to be anybody on the job site. But it's because, sheetrocker's finished and we're waiting for, cabinets and there's nothing to do. Or you're going to go to the job site. Nobody's going to be there. I might have just left. There's going to be a trench and the plumber's going to be on the skid steer and he's going to ask you, do you want me to go left or right for this hose bib? And you're going to answer that. And then you're going to feel like if you hadn't been there, it would have all gone wrong. But really, he would just pick up the phone and called me.
That's such a smart thing to do.
Yeah. And then the other thing we tell them that hits home is like, in the build of this house, we are going to get literally 10,000 things right. And we're going to get like 4 wrong. And the 4 things we get wrong, because we put the chandelier for the kitchen into your bathroom. And then, the framer put his ladder through your window, which you don't pay for, we do.
Right.
You're going to remember these things versus the 10,000. Like we take a door and you're like, to get that door right, you have to know the swing, the frame, the hinges, left hand, right hand. Like there are probably 15 things to get that door hung properly, but to you, it's just a door,
right.
And so that's what we try to explain to them, like there's going to be things in this custom home that are going to happen, but that's not for you to worry about. Like that's on us.
Right.
We have to fix it. We have to make it right. You shouldn't worry about the day by day, details. Like when there's a big problem, we'll come to you and let you know. But there are a lot of things that go right every day.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, that's a very smart thing to do. Just set up your clients' expectations. At least you said it. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, remember when we said it's going to be sunny and nobody's going to be there?
Yeah.
And you came to the job site today and you wondered why nobody was working? Well, this is one of those days. We also talk about, like, they don't always have dependable cars, you know? Like, so there's days where people don't come because their truck broke down, you know? And it's real funny. It is not like the corporate America or any kind of business world. Like, there is not, like, you know, how many times do you have to call your framer before he picks up the phone?
Right.
Maybe 5.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not because he's a bad guy or he doesn't have your respect. It's just a culture, you know, or, you know, somebody doesn't show up for work. They don't get fired, or you don't call them and berate them. Like, they didn't show up. You call them and you're like, hey, I thought y'all were coming today. And then they say, well, we were, but we got behind on this job. We were going to finish that one up and move on to the next one. And you're like, okay, cool. Like, next time, if you just want to, like, give me a heads up, because then, and you can say that like 200 times. It's not necessarily going to happen, but you can try. You know, it's just a different world. It just doesn't function the way.
Well, it's just so hard too, because like we have a client. It's like, okay, what can we do to streamline this so that we can move in early? And I was like, nothing. Like we signed a contract. You know, we gave you the end date. You know, the change orders come with extra time. That gets added to the end date, and here's your end date as of right now.
Right.
Now, if we get further along and we feel like we can push it up, great.
Yeah.
But we're not going to tell you that until we know.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, and what they don't remember is the change orders, all the little change orders throughout, you know, tack on to the end, cost and time. So when you present the list of the change orders, and then you can say, okay, the tub location move, that was 2 weeks because the plumber had to get out. We had to move it. We had to switch the faucet direction, you know, like all these things that seem simple, like, are just tacking on. And then when they can actually see it in a document and you can put like time to it and money, then they're like, oh,
yeah,
you know, like,
I get it now.
I was the driver of that.
Right.
Not
exactly.
y'all.
Exactly. Yeah. I've been fortunate though. We've had really good clients for the most part. But yeah, sometimes trying to explain to them like the expectations and timelines and things like that. Like, you know, in a custom home, there's going to be days where nobody's there. That's just how it is.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not production.
Well,
it's custom for a reason.
It's not like I don't benefit by dragging the job out at all. So it's not like we're happy when that happens, but it's just the way the timeline goes, you know?
Yep.
So, and it's unfortunate. Pool builders have horrible reputations.
They do.
I mean, nobody trusts a pool builder. So I hopefully have like broken that mold. Like, for people that I've built for, has all been word of mouth. Like I said, I've never done anything kind of marketing, just all word of mouth. And then, you know, builders have the same thing. Like, it's just the reputation, like, because like I said, well, somebody might have a great home, but then the only thing they're going to tell their friends about is this, oh, well, then they did break the window that time. You know?
Yeah, right.
Okay,
One
cool.
wrong thing.
Well,
that we paid for.
yeah.
To fix. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but
I think this is a good segue into my next question. What do you think the hardest part is about running a business that nobody really talks about?
that nobody really talks about.
Or maybe it is something people talk about. But what would you say one of the hardest thing is? Because you have you have the custom home side of things you've had experience with, and now
Right.
you're building pools.
I think being the middleman, where you're having to keep the customer happy, but then you also have to like have a good relationship with your trades.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
You mentioned that.
yeah. So just the balance of like, you know, treating your trades with respect and understanding, but also like not letting them take advantage of you or walk all over you, and keeping their quality of work and their pricing where it needs to be. And then managing the client's expectations, and not getting wrapped into letting the client become the project manager. That's where you get in a lot of trouble. When that flips, that's when everything goes downhill.
Yeah.
So you have to, with good authority, stay in charge of the project, but still have respect for like their request and their concerns. And, you know, I mean, I just think communication is key. Like, if you have bad news or something you know they're not going to want to hear, the sooner you can tell them, the better.
100%.
Than to keep kicking it down the road, and then you have to let them know, like, all right, well, we actually have to rip out the cabinets because the grains are not going the right way, and that's not going to be okay or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe, I don't know. But, I think communication, managing those expectations, being open, transparency, but also maintaining control of the job where it doesn't flip and you don't have an owner that's now on site talking and managing your trades or you and making you feel like now they're in charge.
Mm-hmm.
And then being just the middleman and then managing your own trades.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like it always comes down to communication for sure. I mean, same thing in real estate. As soon as I feel like a deal may go sideways, any type of indication that it might, letting the clients know right away, like, hey, this is what's going on. Things may be getting a little shaky with it, but let them know right away, just so that it's not like last minute, like, hey, yep, their deal's falling apart. Sorry, whatever. So I think communication is huge in business in general. Doesn't matter if you're a real estate, pool builder, custom home builder, or you own a boutique shop on Main Street. It doesn't matter. Communication with your clients and your employees and everybody's just, I think it's number one. So.
And I've seen some really good home builders that do incredible work. And I feel like manage expectations and communicate really well, just end up with really bad clients that, like, it doesn't matter what they would have done. They're just not reasonable.
Yeah.
And so just taking that with integrity and knowing that you've done everything you needed to do and not let it get to you, and finish the job.
Yeah.
And finish it well and know your product, and don't second guess yourself because somebody, there's a lot going on in the people's worlds. It's funny. We talk about like certain clients and like when they send the crazy text messages. It's like, oh, it happens to be every Friday night at 10:30. I wonder what they were doing at 10:30 on Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
Probably had some wine,
Yeah.
But they've got all those things. They have got their own things going on in their life with family, work, finances. These are big financial endeavors, and that's stressful. You have some buyer's remorse at times and all of that. So trying to like keep a level head and not take everything personal and like focus on doing what is right and not changing from that because you feel the pressure from somebody to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned just in your industry that Instagram, social media is kind of a challenge for you in your questionnaire. Do you want to unpack that a little bit? The challenge that, I don't know if it's the industry in general, contractors, how they portray the business maybe on social media. And this is kind of works for a lot of us, but I don't know, you want to pack that a little bit of how challenged social media, the challenge of social media, Instagram and all that is for you in your line of work.
So I think what I might have been referring to in that is I was using Instagram to promote a lot of events outside of the pool building. I'm really terrible about, I try to remember to take pictures and videos and post when I'm building pools and stuff, but I'm really bad at it. But I think it was more when I was like doing all my other stuff, like my pool workouts, my women's retreats, my events for the kids at my house and all that kind of stuff. And just, I just don't want to be a slave to my phone and Instagram and feeling like my success in business is going to depend on how well I use Instagram. Mm-hmm. And I think after a year or so of like doing a bunch of that stuff, I just realized like it doesn't feel healthy for me. And it wasn't necessarily like I felt like I was always on it. It was more like I would post and make certain flyers and communicate. And then I would run into Ryan, who follows me on Instagram. And he would be like, oh, I didn't know you were doing that. Or, oh, and I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Like, I don't know how to communicate any better,
Right,
And so it was more like that kind of thing where it just was like getting wrapped up in like, how many times a week do I need to post for this certain event or to get people to understand? We do pool workouts every Tuesday at 5. Apparently that's not coming across clearly. How do I get that out? And so that's what I think I was mentioning in the questionnaire about like, I get so much information from Instagram, new restaurants, follow a High Rocks person that helped me with training or, I get so much out of it. But I just felt like I wasn't providing. And then what do you provide? And like, what are people interested in? And I'm not one, ironically, to be in front of the camera. And so, like I feel like the people that are really good at it are cool to just be talking to the camera, which I'm like, no. If you look at my Instagram, like there's like a handful of pictures of me, and otherwise it's like, so I haven't really used Instagram or social media for Staycation Pools other than like when I'm building, I'll like try to show the process. But otherwise it was like trying to get people to understand what's kind of going on the property and get them involved, like the prayer trail and that kind of stuff. And so, honestly, like I just kind of resorted to, I've got a email group that I send out, and then do however many posts that I feel like is necessary, and then let it go. And just whoever comes. And they miss that one, hopefully they'll get the next one.
Yeah. How'd that go, by the way? That so it was on Good Friday. I think
we had over 80
serious?
people show up. Yeah, it was amazing.
Holy cow!
Yeah,
wow,
it was really cool, and it was all day.
amazing.
So like, I think the first group showed up at 9:30.
Yeah.
First few people, and then we had a sunset group come. They were like at 7:30. So it's just all day in and out because
What was this?
That's amazing.
So basically, on my property, I had a 1.5 mile loop, and I built cedar crosses, and put a card that had a verse and the meaning of what happened at that station, 14 stations of the cross. And then it had like you would take a rock and then set it down and you're setting down a burden, or you would kneel and pray, or you would take a breath, 3 breaths as you walked away. It just had like a kind of a meditation type thing or reverence to that applied to that station. And then for the kids or adults, I had a card that had a color for a bead. And when they got there, I had pipe cleaners in the shape of a cross. And so they added a bead to the cross at every station. And that bead represented, white was when Veronica like helped Jesus wipe his head or whatever with her rag or, and so, So anyway, it was come and go all day. That was another funny thing because I still had people call, so what time? And I'm like, sunrise to sunset.
Sunrise to sunset. How can I be more clear? Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, it was great. And it was, that was really awesome because it was truly come and go. Like I didn't need to be there, but I would try to watch when a car would come in and go down and give them the cross and kind of get them started. And they got to do it on their own. I had a friend come twice. She came with her family, and then her dad wanted to come. So she came back with her dad.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so it was really neat. And the kids made it, the 1.5 miles. They did a great job. And I mean, I had a little one. There was 3-year-olds out there doing it. So it was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be a tradition from now on, for sure.
Yeah, I was hoping to make it, but I had show property that day out in Ingram and Center Point and Kerrville. So unfortunately, that day was all packed up and I couldn't make it. But since you're gonna make it a tradition, we'll definitely have to make it.
And I went to Catholic school, and then I taught in Catholic school, and then I would go to mass with friends because I kind of like had it in my life. My grandmother and great grandmother were both Catholic, and just as a young child, the Stations of the Cross always was so special to me, and I just remember that. I remember as a young child liking this hour-long service because you walk through exactly what Jesus walked through that day. And it's just a really cool way to remember what happened to him, in a story.
Yeah.
So I just was like, I don't know, one day I was like running out there. I was like, that would be cool if I did this.
Yeah, I need to do that. That sounds really neat.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Really neat.
Yeah, next Easter I'll have to invite you to St. Mary's, and we can, because they'll, like she said, it's like an hour long, basically a devotion, and you're meditating on each station of the cross. He fell 3 times, and Veronica helped wipe his face, and there's 14 stations, and it helps you really just center yourself on what he did for us, carrying that cross all the way up to Calvary, and then ultimately dying on the cross. But it's it's special for sure.
Yeah.
I'll have to get you over there next year to do that. But
yeah, that's great. That's really cool.
All right. So to kind of segue into wrapping everything up, I want to talk about what really fires you up and, lately. And I know you're, really training, you're getting prepped for tactical games. Do you want to talk a little bit about tactical games, what that is and what kind of training is involved to get ready for that?
For sure. So I watched tactical games, a friend compete for 2 years before I ever decided to do it. You don't need to do that, but that's kind of what I did. And then I hired Connor, Coach Kent's son.
Oh, yeah.
Who's going to Worlds and
he's a beast.
shotgun.
Yeah.
Because I grew up hunting. So I was perfectly comfortable with my 223, my AR platform. And I can shoot a shotgun. But I never, my dad like maybe let me use a 22 to shoot a turtle on the tank or something like that.
Yeah.
But like I've never used a pistol.
Right.
So I was just like, and I've always felt like so uncomfortable, like they're dangerous, you know?
It's different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Way different.
Yeah. So basically, for once a week for 3 months leading up to my first tactical games, Connor and I met and we just shot pistol.
Wow.
I mean, we shot a little AR, but not much, so that I could just get comfortable with it. And now I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tactical games is basically CrossFit meets shooting. At every competition, they're 2 days long, except for nationals is 3 days. You have a physical floater. So that might be a sandbag over a 54-inch bar for time, as many reps as you can. The physical floater at our last skirmish was shuttle runs. The physical floater at regionals this year for Texas was broad jump burpees.
Oh, wow.
So 90 seconds, how many broad jump burpees? You have to jump from one box to the other. Your feet have to land in the box. You can't touch the sticks on the box.
Yeah.
You're always in your kit, so you always have a 14-pound plate carrier on.
Wow.
So you have a physical floater. You have a aggregate, which means it's a 2-gun station. So no fitness, but 2-gun. This
Okay.
one we had 2 prone, 2 kneeling, 2 standing. Was that a regionals or skirmish? I think that was at skirmish. Regionals, I think we had where you're moving 2 rifle for 3 boxes, and then you run diagonal, and then you have pistol, 2 shots. And so A zone for the rifle head for the rifle, A zone for the pistol.
Okay.
And so it's a time thing, accuracy. And then the other 2 events are shooting and fitness. So we had rope climbs with sandbag. So you would do 2 rope climbs, grab your sandbag, throw it over the wall, shoot. And this was on steel. So if you're shooting steel, you're going to have penalties within the workout. If you're not shooting steel, then you're shooting on paper. So you'll be just doing the workout with no penalties, because your penalty is once they get the paper,
Oh, yeah.
your misses are 10 seconds.
Okay.
So,
Makes sense.
yeah. So when it's steel, for that example, we had 2 rope climbs, get your sandbag, throw it over the wall, 6-foot wall, get your body over the wall, go shoot. Whatever you missed, like say you missed 6 shots, you'd have to do 6 body sandbag over the wall. Then back, 2 more rope climbs, sandbag over the wall, shoot.
Dang.
And then it's usually like a 15-minute time cap. And then, so you're trying to complete it. There was one awful one at regionals, worst one I've ever done, was we had to roll like 150-pound sandbag for my division. You had to roll it 50 feet, and then you shot, and then you had to roll it back, but you had to walk backwards.
Wow.
And I think when we got to the end, we had an 80, 100, and 125-pound sandbag that we had to get over the bar. So you would take the 80 over like 5 times, and then the 100 over 3 times, and then the 125 one time. Then you would roll it down and then roll it back, but you would shoot. And that one was paper. So there were no penalties. You're just doing the workout. Whatever you missed, you'll see later as your seconds on your time. So we had a 5K ruck on that regionals competition for our physical floater. Oh, I'm mixing up because we had the broad jump burpees. Oh, day 2. Sorry. Day 2 was a 5K ruck. We were rowing and shuttle running. We had rope climbs, handbag over bar. We had wheelbarrow. We had zerch carries. I mean, everything.
There's even barbell too, right?
Yeah,
Occasionally?
zerch carry.
That's-
We've done
okay.
overhead carry. We've done farmer's carry, but their farmer's carry are with the barbell where it has the U. I forgot what those are called. Barbell, sandbags, and then the rig. I mean, they have the full rig.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Sounds like a blast.
It's so fun. It really is so fun.
Yeah.
So training for that, Janae is the 3-time elite women's champion, and I'm following her programming right now.
Oh.
So her programming is great. She does so much prehab, and then we have a strength, and then we'll have a workout, and that workout will usually have a machine because we have. Oh, you had to come to my house because have you been on the strength erg?
No.
That thing is so cool. So Concept 2 has something called the strength erg, and they introduced it at Nationals last year. And so you row on it, you press, and you leg press.
Yeah.
It is, and as much as you put in, that's what it gives back.
Oh.
So it is intense. But yeah, so we've had bike ergs, we've had rowers, we've had the strength erg, we've had the assault bike, all out there. Oh, we've had the ski. I mean, every machine could show up. They do release the 13 floaters and 13 aggregates for the year that you could see. You just don't know when you're going to see them.
Oh, I got you.
So you do know them and could practice them. So the training looks a lot like CrossFit, but I supplement my training, like not always following Hulan because I need to do like 100-pound sandbag stress carries.
Yeah,
so for example, like I mixed that workout the other day. So yesterday I did a 15-calorie row with the max clean and jerks that we did this week because I was supposed to do for my tactical sandbag over the bar, but I don't have my 54-inch bar set up yet. So a clean and jerk was basically a same movement of trying to get weight up off the ground and overhead.
Right.
So I like basically merged Janae's programming and Hulan into a workout that, worked for a tactical game. So
yeah. So at your house, how often are you doing like the workout stuff and shooting at the same time? Are you
once
a usually
week.
Separated?
Well, I need to be doing it all the time
More
because
often.
every time you go to a tactical games, the thing that you say when you're done is, I need to be working out when I'm shooting. Like it does no good with my heart rate not elevated to shoot.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, even so we have a 100-yard pistol bay so that you can shoot AR at 100 and then pistol at whatever. And so in that bay, I have like a wall and an 80-pound sandbag. And then I can run like this loop and then come back and shoot. I don't use my Peloton bike like ever.
Yeah.
Literally. Maybe about on it twice. So I'm going to move it down to the pistol range because I can just set the like resistance on it and bike for 1 minute, just like you would on a bike erg, and then get off and shoot. So, so like I try to dry fire like 3 or 4 times a week and then live fire once for sure, twice if I can. Also gets really expensive. Trying to find some sponsors because ammo is crazy expensive. If I could just get a little help, that would be amazing.
That's darn tricky, I'd imagine, because I feel like you'd probably have to have that social media side, right?
Exactly. So Will Cooper's been super helpful. I'm slowly easing into it, but like I am going to have to post pictures of me dry firing and videos of me shooting and tagging all these people and doing that. And so he's kind of like helping me. I put together like a document that I could email someone. And so he's kind of helping me, but he's like, you have to be on social media if you're going to they're going to look at your page and see like, it's not even like, I don't think necessarily like how many followers, like in the hundreds of thousands or whatever, but it's just like how frequently and then how much traction you're getting from those posts. So that's the thing that I'm not interested in. That maybe that also was part of the Instagram thing that I was mentioning in the document, but I'm just so bad at all that.
Oh, Will, he's been such a saint. He's one of the big reasons why we started this thing.
That's awesome.
This podcast.
He's so great. He sent me a whole package the other day from Walker's.
Really?
Like, just such.
I was wondering because I saw him tagged in your stories.
He sent me that whole gear set. Okay. Yeah, so amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
really he's a good dude.
Yeah, he is a good dude.
I got 2 turkey with 1 shot last night.
Did
and
you
I was
last
wearing
night?
my new Walker earmuffs, my buff, and my top that he gave me.
Did you tag him?
Nice.
Have you posted it yet?
Yeah, I did
you
on
did?
the way here.
Okay. Yeah. You tagged Walker in it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There you go.
I these toms, so I've been hunting for a week, morning and night, calling. They're talking. I, not on purpose, let 8 toms walk. So the first 3 that I let walk, it's because I have not turkey hunted in a few years, just time, just time flies by and I'm like, when was the last turkey hunt I went on?
Right.
And like, so these 3 toms came, not all at the same time, but I was like, I didn't have my rangefinders. And I'm like, I don't know how far that is. That's either 40 or 60.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
The tree I was looking at was at 35. So I let 3 toms walk at like 35 yards.
Mm.
I was just like, oh my gosh. And then these other 5 came and they were just like, didn't go where I could actually get a shot.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other ones like just have been talking to me for a week, but will not. They just keep going like this. They won't come over.
Come up.
And so last night, I went and we called one time and they just started sprinting. I mean, sprinting towards me. And I was like, oh my gosh. And so they were like coming around and like the one that I was planning to shoot, like I was just needing him to take a couple more steps. Well, the other guy was just following him. So I just shot and they both just
Landed
down.
both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
I've never
that
shot
was
turkey.
pretty.
I never have
my
either.
gosh.
Never have.
I never
Y'all,
had.
well, I can take you. It's
Down. All right.
addicting.
For sure.
Is it
It's
really?
so fun. I mean, even whenever I was letting those walk, I mean, just to like call and have them talk and watch them come
Yeah.
in and,
Strutting their stuff.
Yes. The whole thing is just so much fun.
So you like,
I mean, it's interactive. Like you don't interact when you're like deer axis. I mean, and you're just like,
right. Yeah.
you're either like spot and stalking or you're sitting
Yeah.
in a blind and you're just hoping they come and like this is like literally you called them
Yeah.
in and you're interacting with them and then
That's funny because
and they're beautiful.
Tom Gromas at the gym, he
Yeah.
had mentioned that too, that I don't know, I think he got his son David just got his first turkey. So that was in itself really awesome. Actually, Will's daughter just got hers. I don't know if you
Yes.
saw that video.
Oh my
Super
gosh.
cool. But I think it was Tom saying that, I think he had recently got a turkey or something and how addicting it is. And I've heard that somewhere else too. And I'm like, turkey hunting, really?
Right. I
Really?
don't understand it either.
Well,
but
if
I've
you
never
think
done
about like fall deer season turkey hunting with
Yeah.
a rifle and a blind, that's not fun.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
Just sitting there waiting for
But
hours. Yeah.
spring, when they're in rut and you're calling them in and
Yeah.
you're talking to them, and it's super
Yeah.
cool because not all the time. Like last night, they were probably 300 yards away,
Mm-hmm.
but it was in an open field and they were under trees, so I could literally see them the whole time. But like a lot of times, it's blind and you call and you hear them from so far away.
Yeah.
And then sometimes they won't talk back until they're literally right there and you're like, oh, or they'll talk the whole time and you're
Yeah.
like,
Mm-hmm.
it's
What
it's
kind of
really
call?
cool.
Were you using like the box one or the
No,
mouth?
I have
call,
a
or-
box, but I'm not as good at it.
Yeah.
It's like a round disc and a stick,
Yes.
and you
Yeah,
scrape.
right.
Yeah, I like that one the most.
Okay.
I think as a kid, I liked the mouth call just because it was fun,
Yeah,
but
right.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't use
I'm
it.
trying to learn that right now. 'Cause we went our first elk hunt last year, and my goal is to go start hunting elk next year with a bow. Obviously, during September, that's the rut. So I got this course online. I need to actually start getting on there and learning a little bit. But I got this 2 or 3 mouth calls. I got the bugle tube. Really want to start diving deep into learning how
Now
to call
that
because
that's like turkey hunting because you're calling
Yeah,
those
yeah.
bull elk in. I mean,
also just locating them, see where they're
Yes.
at, and then making a move on them. But
it's
do you
unbelievable.
ever elk hunt at all? Or?
Jake does every year,
Jake
but
does.
I haven't gone. We've planned for me to
feel like you
go,
would
and
love
it's
it.
never worked out. Oh yeah, I would love it.
It's hard. Like
It's
elk hunting is
hard.
insane.
It's hard.
Yeah,
It is hard.
yeah.
I haven't even bow hunted yet. I know that's going
But
to
if
be way
you
harder.
hit it in the rut,
Yeah.
It'd be so much fun. Seeing those
and
monsters.
you're actually bugling and
Yeah.
or calling, cow calling, and they're coming in and they're talking, and they are so dumb. I'm sure you've
Yeah.
seen some of those Cameron Haynes
Oh,
videos
yeah.
where that
Yeah, yeah.
bull is like 5 feet from him
Yeah.
because they just get so dumb.
Just so
Yeah.
amped up.
and they're
ready to
just
fight.
like, yeah. To
Mm.
get one with a bow will be unbelievable.
I can't wait. Yeah. So Will's actually helping me get set up for bow hunting, and hopefully eventually go do a little hunting with him.
I shot a turkey with bow. That's fun too.
Did
Spring
you?
turkey
That
with
would
a
be
bow.
cool.
Yeah.
No kidding.
Super
yeah.
fun.
With like the turkey head, broadhead, like
Uh-huh.
the big wide one.
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah. One of these days we'll have to go do that for sure.
For sure.
So you're headed to Montana, Malibu this year to coach wellness retreats. Who are you coaching on that? Is that
So the first one I'm going to is April 30th, and it's a really cool lady that I met, Christine Grimes. She has been she created her business over 20 years ago, and she basically started this company where she goes in to save corporations, basically. Like
Oh, okay.
some big corporations, or somebody is having a major problem at their business. Usually these are large companies. And she comes in and like counsels them. And that's kind of evolved in that she has clients that are like really big CEOs of companies, and they just need like counseling through major events, or they're like gonna sell, and then they'll be like out like it's just like for men, like this really hard time in their life where they're selling their company or they're retiring, and they just are like don't know what to do with themselves. So she basically helps them. Well, that about 6 years ago, she got like, the light bulb of like, I need to be creating a retreat for these people. And so she started a retreat. And so it's in Montana once a year. It's small. It's like 8 to 10 men only. And they work with her before they come, and then they're there, and it's completely disconnected. And so there's no alcohol, healthy eating. We're fly fishing. We're ice bathing in the river. We're working out. We're meditating, whatever that looks like. We're not like,
Yeah.
but like, getting deep in thoughts. And then they'll have one-on-one sessions with her while she's there. And then she does a follow-up with them. And so I'm going out this year for that. I met her through a Gabby Reese event. And I'm going to go coach like the breath work and the ice bath stuff. And we have, I don't know that I'm allowed to talk about it, but there's something in the pipeline that's pretty cool. So I'm not going to say what it is, of another opportunity that came to her from a past client that she would like me to be a part of, if it all pans out. So that could be cool.
Yeah.
And then I'm taking my own group of women from they're actually Austin, Fredericksburg,
Mix of both.
and then Florida.
Yeah.
My own group of women to Montana for a women's retreat, and we're going to do glacier and whitefish.
Oh, cool.
And I try to do one women's retreat a year that I lead.
So this is, what number is this? How many have you done?
This will be like 8.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dang.
Yeah.
Been there for a
Last
while.
year we did 2 because we did Punta Mita, and then we also did Pagosa Springs, Colorado.
Oh, cool.
I just didn't have time this year to do 2. So I'm super excited. I love whitefish.
It's amazing.
To be able to get a national park in
Yeah.
is amazing.
Yeah.
And then Gabby Reese, professional volleyball player, married to Laird Hamilton. I've been contractually working for them through their company XPT for like the past 7 years. I'm a coach. That's where the whole pool training comes from, ice bath, breath work.
Oh, okay.
She now has her own retreat called the Reset. And so that'll be 30 women. We'll be out in Malibu. I did it. We did it the last of January or the end of January. So this will be the second one. And it's always out in Malibu because that's where she lives. And so basically these 30 women come, and it's just a wellness weekend where they dive into all things wellness. They get their blood work done, and it gets reviewed while they're there.
Wow.
We bring in specialists. Kelly Starrett's wife, Juliet, came and spoke this time. Cicilina Gracie of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. She came and spoke. She's so awesome. I've known her for like 8 years through the XPT stuff. The Theragun, the guy who started that came. He is the nicest guy ever.
Really?
He came, brought everybody Theraguns, walked them through a prehab before we did Gabby's HIIT training, and then did one. I mean, he himself, like the founder, like just the most incredible guy ever.
That's so cool.
So that's a 2.5 day event, and I'm really there. I'm really there as like the grunt girl. Like I just do everything, like set up, take down. The only thing I really coach is I help Gabby with her. I coach the ice bath at their house because we go to their house one of the days. But with her, she calls it High X. It's a really cool workout that she designed. It's about a 45-minute workout. And then otherwise, I'm just like the grunt girl.
The grunt girl.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if you don't know, she has Fire and Ice. Is that a public type thing, or is that just like people invite them like, hey, you can come do?
Yeah, it's public.
It is public.
Anybody can come.
Okay. So I didn't know, how much
yeah.
we'll talk about it here, but you got to get this guy over there and get some ice baths. And
Yeah.
I do. He's been a little afraid to do it.
Yeah, we need to shoot. We can do like a little tactical simulation
That'd be
workout,
cool.
and then sauna and ice afterwards.
That'd be awesome.
That would be really
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, so many benefits into it. I've listen, like Dr. Hubbard, Huberman. Huberman, that's what it is. Yeah, I mean, I've kind of dove into it. I end up buying my own cold plunge at the house, so I need to get back to it. But yeah, I mean, there's so many benefits of cold plunging. But you have the sauna too, so the contrast therapy going back and forth. I mean, that's even more. You leave there on an absolute high. Your endorphin level,
For sure.
through the roof. And yeah, I think that's something we could all do.
Yes,
do a little
really
more
great.
of.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
never done it. Yeah. Train a lot. So
Trust me, you will feel so amazing.
Oh yeah, I crave it.
Yeah.
Really.
And I was that type of person that you wouldn't put me in a cold pool or a lake, like, and now I'm like craving, I got to get an ice bath today.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. Andrea, my wife, she when she first got out of first tried her first plunge or whatever, she got out. She just screamed, "I'm alive!" Or whatever. She's kind of like joking, but you feel so amped up after you get out.
I think the cutest video is Natalie Vogel's son, Josh Vogel.
Yeah.
They would always come and do ice baths at my house, and now they have it at theirs. And we did it, and I was interviewing him, maybe because I was like trying to do something for social media.
Yeah.
And I was like, Luke, why, or maybe Natalie did it and sent it to me. But anyway, we were like, Luke, why do you ice bath? He's like, it's good for sports. And she's like, yeah. And like, what about? Like for baseball and like makes me better? And she's like, yeah. What else about it? He's like, it gives me energy. It gives me water energy. It was like the cutest video. So we always say that now after we're like ice bathing, we're like, we've got water energy.
Yeah. That's
But it does. It like, if you're having a day where you're just like feeling like, ugh, you get in the ice bath and it you feel so good after.
Yeah, I've never done the contrast. We're going back and forth between the
Really?
sauna. I've never have. No, I'm sure that's a whole nother
you've
level.
got to come out.
Yeah.
Will just came out and did it for the first time. I think
he?
he'd ice bath, but he had never done the sauna. So
Yeah. We'll have to get in a little group
Let's do
chat.
it.
yeah,
and
we need to do
figure
it
that out
for
but-
sure.
For sure.
Well, Leann, this was an awesome interview, and it's incredible how many things you have going on in your life between tactical games, CrossFit, the business stuff. I mean, and then you're just hands on with the community. It's incredible. You're a true inspiration, and I definitely look up to you and everything you have going on.
I
And
do remind people I don't have a 4, 2, and 3 month old. So when you think I've got all these things going on, remember I'm also not raising tiny humans.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's a lot to that, but either way, you're still just an absolute inspiration. And I've really enjoyed this interview for sure. And
That's fun.
I
I think we'll get together again.
Yeah. Well, I completely agree. I've been, I met you when we did the running gun, and then I followed you on Instagram, and I see all the high rocks and all the things that you're doing. And I agree with Ryan. You really are an inspiration. It's really fun watching you do all the things you do.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah.
Well, we'll go ahead and
Thanks
wrap
for
this
having
up.
me on, guys. This is fun.
Absolutely. This is our 4th episode. Again, Texas Hill Country Insider. If you could just give us a follow on your favorite podcast platform, whether that be Apple, Spotify, whatever it may be. If you're on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button, but also that little bell so you can get notified anytime we put out videos just like this one. Outside of that, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Yep.
All right, we're out.
All right, we're out.